Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Right now I want to show you how to produce your complete working drawing, architectural working drawing. So we have finished designing this commercial building. It's actually an office complex, a very simple office complex, and we have rendered it as you can see on the screen. So we are now back to the ARCHICAD software to proceed with the working drawings. Producing this plan, these elevations, and rendering it are called presentation drawings. Now, the drawings have been approved by your client. The next thing you do is now called working drawings, which is producing a well working drawing plans, roof plans, sections, elevations, doors and window schedules. We already have videos on this channel on how to produce some of these things already. Doors and window schedules videos already here, and other working drawings videos are already existing in this channel. So this is the perspective in the ARCHICAD and also the perspective that was rendered also. So the first thing to do is I'm going to remove all this stuff used for landscaping in this plan to continue with the working drawings. So we'll come over to our ground floor plan and we'll start removing them. So one way to remove them, you can choose to group all of them and remove all of them at once. So we're going to make it of marquee and we'll highlight all. We'll click on mesh because these green areas you make use of mesh for it. So we'll click on Ctrl A. So I have highlighted all the mesh. Then the next thing to also highlight is to highlight all this slab individually. This thing used for the cars. We're highlighting all. So it just depends on what you use for your own landscaping. If yours is not as complex as this, you can just be very faster with yours. So I'm going to remove all this. So after removing all this, then the next thing we do, we also have lamps in this design. So we'll come to lamp and click Ctrl A. So I've highlighted all the lamps too. So I've highlighted all the lamps too. Then we'll unhighlight this. Alright, so after doing that, then we'll proceed to we'll then move it out of this plan because these things are not used for working drawings. So you can choose to delete yours or you can choose to move it out so that you can proceed with your working drawings. So the one I would advise you to do is just to move it out so that in case you need it again, you want to do another rendering, or in case something comes up, you don't have to start all afresh. So what I'm going to do now is to click on Ctrl A. But let me highlight the fence too before I do that. I'm highlighting the fence. Then I click on Ctrl A, Ctrl A, Ctrl A. Then I move. Okay. So after highlighting, then I'll click on Ctrl D, which is move or drag. Ctrl D. So, and if I'm moving it, I'm going to move it diagonally. Hope you're seeing how I'm moving it. I'm moving it diagonally, either towards the up or towards the down or towards the sides, but it must be diagonally, this or down. And why am I moving it diagonally? So that whenever I open my elevations, I will not capture it. Remember that we're going to open our elevations. So since we're going to open our elevations, we are going to make sure that we do not capture it. So for you not to capture it, you have to move it away so that it should not be around here, it will not be around here, it will not be around here, it will not be around here. In your 4 elevations high. So when it's diagonally, none of the elevations can capture it. So if this thing happens to be here, which means none of these 4 elevations can see it. So move it diagonally, can move it up a bit. So and it is there and save. Then you unhighlight or deselect all. Then escape to remove the marquee line. So what we have now is only our main drawing that's going to be used for the working drawings. So I hope you get that very well. So before we continue again, we'll place our grid lines and other things. So the first thing I would like us to do, I want to show you how to convert your elevations to be just black and white or to be just plain. How to make your elevations plain. You know, right now when you open your elevation, you'll be seeing something like this in your elevations. You can see that, right? Is what you'll be seeing in your elevations. So right now, I want to show you how to make your elevations plain. You won't be seeing the colors or whatsoever you use in your elevation. You will be seeing this kind of colors. What you'll be seeing is just everything will just be so plain. Everything will just be so plain as it is meant to be. I've seen some people produce elevations like this. It is very, very wrong because it doesn't have color. It's not clear. It's not, you can't progress. You can't make something significant with this. So for you to produce a very wonderful elevations, then you must make sure that you follow this step correctly. So we're going to highlight all the elevations I. So after highlighting all the elevation, then you right click on elevation selection setting. After clicking on the elevation selection setting, you come over to here, which is fill on cut surface width. Once you click it, you see this, nothing. The current one is own material shaded. So we're now changing this one to what? Nothing. Once you click on nothing, then we click OK. And that is it. Then we'll open our elevation again to see how it is. So you can see this is now a very clear elevation. So right now I want to show you how to put your grid lines, which is the first thing you will do in your working drawings. You must ensure that you have your grid lines. After you have done your interior dimensioning everywhere, ensure you put your interior dimension in and make sure that your dimension numbers are clear. Because if they are not clear, you are likely to produce that plan again. So because your client or the builders need a clear dimension numbers. So we're going to click on grid element. You can check around this place. You must find grid. Once you double click on grid, no matter the ARCHICAD version you are, just look for these settings I followed. Come over to your marker, change the size. This is the size of the marker, which is the size of this circle right here. Reduce it to around 6. This 10 is very big, so endeavor to try to reduce yours. You can maintain the font as 3.5. It is okay. If it is too big after you placed it, you can reduce it to 3. You can also change the font type to any other font you choose to use. They are all your choice. Any font you prefer, any font you want to use is your choice. So you can see a lot of font in ARCHICAD. Just choose anyone that suits you, anyone at all that suits you. Just endeavor to work with it. So I'm going to look for a font myself. So anyone I just feel like using, I use. So it's a choice. So after you have chosen a font, you click OK and you start. If you choose to make changes here, this changes here is telling you what depth should the marker start from and what depth should it end. So if you know the height of your elevation correctly, you can impute the changes. But even though you don't know it, after imputing, you can still adjust it. There is no props here, so I'm not going to make my changes here. So I will just adjust after imputing. So I click OK. So it's starting from A. So you can choose that your horizontal grid should be in alphabet and your vertical grid should be in numbers. They are still your choice. So I'm going to make my vertical grid to be in alphabet. Now when placing your grids in your wall, there are different methods or ways people place their grid. Some persons place their grid as their external line at these edges. Some place their grids at these edges, while some place their grids at the center of the wall. So some place their grids at the left hand side of the wall, of all the walls. So they place here at the left hand side, while some place their grids at the right hand side, here, which is here, here, and here, while some place their grids at the center of the walls. So, and as we all know, the center of the walls are mostly common. They are mostly used in design. They are mostly used in design. You can still work with any of them. It does not affect the setting out process. The builder will just have to follow the pattern you use. So, but for generality's sake, I'm going to place my grid at the center of the walls. So when you come to the center of the wall, you are likely going to find this thing popping out. If you're not popping out, ensure that these things are clipped. These special snap spots and grid lines are clipped. So when you place it, once this thing pops out, it's telling you that this place you are placing your cursor now is the center of the wall. So this place I'm placing this cursor is the center of the wall. And that way or method of finding the center of the wall is coming in between the middle point of this wall. The middle point of this wall is going to tell us where the center of the wall is. So once you come to the middle point of this wall, so this is the center of the wall. So anytime you come to the middle of a wall, you are going to find a mark like this, and that mark is the center of the wall. So I'll click and place my grid. So I'm going to extend my grid out a bit for external dimensions. I'm creating a very good space to place my external dimensions. So I want to stretch this also. So I've placed grid A or grid AA has been placed. I move to my next wall to place grid B. So this is mark also. I can follow any of those two methods. So grid BB has been placed. So I've placed all the grids on the vertical aspect. I will change it over here to numbers. Then start from 1. So start placing grids on the horizontal aspect. So start and place my grids at the center of the wall. And I'm giving a space here for exterior dimensioning. So I've completed my grids. We have grids A to H on the vertical axis. We also have grids 1 to 10 on the horizontal axis. So that is just how to place your grid side, how to place your grids. So right now, I want to show you how to open an elevation, how to open the elevation and copy it and place it for printing. I'm going to open the south elevation, which is also called the front elevation. I'll right click and click on open elevation. So you can see we have opened this elevation and it has grid lines. I'm going to copy. You cover the entire axis and you click on Ctrl C, which is copy, or you right click and click on copy. After copying, you come to your ground floor plan back and you paste Ctrl V, which is paste. If you click OK, you can also paste using this method. So after right clicking, you click on paste. You'll come to the left hand side or the right hand side, which is the right elevation, which is also called east elevation, and open. After opening, you repeat the same thing. You cover the highlight the entire area, right click and copy, or Ctrl C. You copy, come to your ground floor plan again and paste, or Ctrl V, any of them. So I've pasted. So I've opened our elevations. This is what grid line does. So placing your grid lines are very, very important. And you open the back elevation, highlight, copy, come back to your ground floor plan, then you paste, Ctrl V, then OK, and you have your last elevation, which is the west elevation, which is the left also. It's also called the left elevation. After you open it, you highlight all and copy, then you paste, Ctrl V. Right now, this is how you place grid lines on your elevations and how it works. So I've brought out the 4 elevations. We can still work on these elevations by removing the downgrades and moving the elevations up. So we can move these dimensions up, adjust this up also above, then can drag this. You can see that then we'll remove the down numbers by clicking here. So I've removed the down numbers. Very easy. Then we can make use of fill, change this to black, and change this to white. I make use of fill to act as a ground level. To see a dimension of the fill, make sure that you click on show or hide trigger, show triggers. So to see the ground level of the fill. So it's very easy. So that is it. So I've successfully placed. Just almost done with this elevation. So we can now write under front elevation. Repeat the same process over here. We drag the elevation up. Then we'll move this up also. Then we'll drag this to stop at the DPC on the ground level. I'm actually holding my shift key to be able to align this thing very fast. So after this, I will unclick this to remove the down trigger. And I can just copy this, Ctrl Shift D, and bring this one here too. Then under here you can write left or right elevation. Repeat the same process over here. Ctrl D to move the elevation up. Now drag this up also. And we'll move this. Then we remove the up, the down elevation numbers, and we are done. We bring the ground level also here. The right under here, back elevation. We can repeat the same process here. And drag the elevation up to cover or above the dimensions. Drag this too. Then we remove the down numbers, then Ctrl Shift D to place a ground level here also. So that is a simple way of finishing your elevation after writing down here, which is called back elevation, and you are done. So we hope you are learning a lot, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe also to this YouTube channel. So let's continue now with our other aspect of this design. So now after we have placed your grids in your floor plan, you can now choose to bring out your floor plans and your roof plan. So I'm going to bring it out. When you highlight, endeavor to also highlight the grid also. Then Ctrl Shift D. This is the ground floor plan. So place it right here. Just to duplicate it, so I will not work on this one. Also duplicate it so that this one will be original, while this is the worked one. So that whenever maybe we want to still edit something, we can easily do that. So I'm duplicating it. I'll come over to my first story also. We highlight it too, the green lines, then copy, Ctrl C, copy, or you right click and click on copy. See the same thing, come back to the ground floor plan and paste it close to this one also. Ctrl V, or you right click and click on paste. So if you are copying something, endeavor that this thing is changed to the story you are copying it from. If it's on 0 story, you notice that it will not copy. It's going to just copy only the grid. So whenever you are copying anything, endeavor you watch this, paste. I've already copied my first story, but right now he's showing me which story of the merge page structure corresponds to this current story. Endeavor you change this to the first story before you click OK, because I'm copying it from the first story. Why only the grid was showing then was because the grid is showing in all stories. The grids reflect on all stories. So endeavor it is changed to first story because I'm copying my first floor plan, my upper story. Then I click OK. I notice that everything. So keep current view settings. It's good. Center of the current view. You can choose anyone you want to choose, but this is the best. Then click paste. So you can see now it has copied everything for me correctly. So I hope you understand this I just said. Right click and click OK. So we're going to also copy our roof plan. So roof plan is in second story. So this is our roof plan. Very sharp and good. Make use of CADimage to achieve this. Endeavor to also have access to our CADimage. We have it for all versions of ARCHICAD. Right click and click copy. Then come back to our ground floor plan where we're working on our. Then we'll click paste, Ctrl V. So okay. Right now we are brought out our ground floor plan, upper floor plan, and our roof plan. So that is an easy way to do that. So right now let me show you how to dimension your floor plan very well. Now in one of our recent or former videos, we have showed you how to use automatic dimensioning in your floor plan, and I'm still going to show you here again, but all the same I'm going to show you two methods of dimensioning, which is the outer dimension actually, or the exterior dimension. We've already done interior dimension, which is very easy, which you just click on here and here. All right, click on OK. You have done interior dimension. Interior dimension is very easy. Just click here and click here. Click the 2 points and you have dimension here and here. Right click OK. Interior dimension is done. So you can do that for all. Very easy. So right now I want to show you how to do exterior dimensions. Now we have two methods of dimensioning, which is the automatical method and the manual method. So I'm going to show you the two. Let me start with the automatical method. We have already showed you already in our previous videos, but let me repeat the same process here again. So come to mark you cover the entire building with your marquee. Now, what dimension it does is to dimensions the walls and the windows. Let's just dimension. So after marking, you click on wall and you click on Control A. After clicking on walls and Control A, then you come over to document, extra. Now, depending on the ARCHICAD version you will have, they are almost the same. So endeavor to just look for this stuff. So remember, just come to no matter the ARCHICAD version you're going to use, click on document and look for document extra in that your box. Your own can be down. I don't know, the recent version seems their own needs to be down. So come to document extra. You will see automatic dimension is a must. You will find it there. Automatic dimensioning. Then click on exterior dimensioning. After clicking on it, just come down here. This thing just means distance between dimension line, which is from this dimension line to the next dimension line. What is the distance? Just increase yours a bit to 900 or 1000 or so. Then click on here, place dimensioning on 4 sides, which is the dimension should appear on the 4 sides of the building, not just only one side, but the 4 sides. After ticking it, then click OK. Now come over to an edge, any edge of your choice. After you come to an edge, just click, do a line like this, then click that same place, do another line like this, then that hammer sign will show, then click on it, and your dimensions have appeared on 4 sides of the building. Then remove marquee. So the next thing to now do is now to arrange your dimension line very well. Now, one of the reasons why some persons choose not to use automatic dimension is based on the result. You can see how scattered it is, but it does not happen on all cases, especially if you're doing a very simple design. So, but for complex designs, it shows you a lot of numbers, even the ones you don't need. So the second method now is to show you how to dimension your building without using automatic dimensioning tool. So I've showed you already how to use the automatic dimensioning. So right now is to know how to dimension the building with automatic dimensioning. So after you have done with your dimension settings, if it's okay for you, then you just dimension. Now we have 4 stages of dimensioning. We are meant to have like 4 stages of dimension, which is 4 dimension lines per each side. So the first one is your in-to-in walls. So you can choose to dimension it one by one like this, 1, 1. Like the walls, dimension of the walls. Or you can choose to dimension it another method, which is by clicking the side like this. Once you click the side like that, the dimension line will appear. It can come down, it can be up, it can be down. You can see it right over here. So just by clicking the side, just any of the side, but not the edge, it will dimension the walls for you. So this is one of the methods. That is the first wall you will dimension to come down. I see it there. So that is the first wall to dimension, which is the in of the wall, the walls dimensioning. So the wall distances, you can see that all we have dimensioned for this one. So the next one that dimension now is now the walls, and walls opening. That is the next thing to dimension. So anywhere you have an opening, you will dimensioning the walls and walls opening. So anywhere you have an opening, window or door in the wall, you will dimension. Anywhere you have an opening, window or door, that's what you just dimension. You do this for the 4 sides, which is the second dimension line. Next one is not to dimension the grid. Dimension the grid lines, because the grid line is very, very important in your setting out process in carrying out your construction. You dimension this. And the last is now to dimension the total dimensioning. We're going to exclude this thing because it's just for aesthetics. You can choose to add it in yours if you design it with it. So that is it. So this is the 4-dimension tool. So you can see the difference. This one, this second method is just to go straight to what you want. Why the automatic dimension everything for you. You're the one that will not delete what you don't want and keep what you want. But if you're doing a very simple design, you can just make the automatic dimension very, very fast. But if you're doing a very complex design, a lot of things to pick and not to pick, you can choose to dimension it individually. The two are very important to know. Right, since we're done with the dimensioning of the floor plan, then we can continue with dimensioning of the roof plan. And then we're going now to dimension this roof plan. This is the roof plan of the courtyard building. So we'll follow the same process. With automatic dimension, it doesn't work here. So dimension it individually. You pick the edges of the roof facing the direction. That is the first dimension line you do. Then you dimension the grid. So this is the second dimensioning you will do for one side of the roof. Then the last is now the total. You dimension the total. So you can choose to also bold the last one. Remember, this is your choice. I already showed you how to do this. So this for this side, they'll come back to the next side. Repeat the same process or procedures. Just pick every edge of the roof. Here's the first line. Then the last is now the total from the first edge to the last edge. Then you dimension the last one. Endeavor to pick this edge and not this edge. This is the cap edge. So, or you can choose to even copy, duplicate the one you have done here. Since they are exact, since the grid lines are the same, just copy. Control Shift D, just the same thing. So repeat the same process here again. So we are repeat the same process. Just duplicate this. Control Shift D. So right now we are done with the roof plan. So the next thing to do is to open your doors and window schedules. But please be informed that in most circumstances, endeavor to open your doors, bring out your doors and window schedules before you proceed with these working drawings, especially with the plans. The reason because the doors and windows of these two plans have duplicated and come out will make an effect on the doors and window schedules. So endeavor to bring out your doors and window schedules before you start drawing your plan. Endeavor to do that. It's very, very important. So we'll open our door list. I already showed you in a previous video on how on doors and window schedules. So click on edit and copy. So we have brought out the door list. Come over to the ground floor plan and paste. This is not the ground floor plan. I'll paste Ctrl V. So this is the door list. We'll bring out the window list. Click on edit and copy. Then paste Ctrl V. Okay, so this is the doors and window schedules. Endeavor to watch the video to learn how to create them. Door and window schedules. So right now we are done with the major aspect of this design, with the floor plans, roof plans, the elevations, and the doors and window schedules. So that is the architectural working drawing. We have not done this section. To learn how to do section, this is very simple. We also have done it in our previous video. Endeavor to watch it, like, share, and subscribe.